Good afternoon. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now, and I'm rethinking Seattle's aversion to umbrellas today. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Friday, November 14th. No Starbucks for Katie Wilson. The next mayor of Seattle is at odds with one of the city's biggest employers. Mayor-elect Katie Wilson joined striking Starbucks workers on the picket line on Thursday and urged people to boycott the city's fifth biggest employer.
I am not buying Starbucks, and you should not either. And I would like to close with a message to Starbucks. This is your hometown and mine. Seattle's making some changes right now. And I urge you to do the right thing. Because in Seattle, when workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Starbucks workers and the company are at odds over pay and staffing requirements. The Seattle-based coffee giant did not immediately respond to a request for comment. It wasn't quite a torrent of rain today, my new favorite rain word now that we have a team of that name, but boy did it downpour. More than an inch of rain had fallen on Seattle before 11 o'clock this morning, and it kept raining all day. Heavy rain's expected to keep coming until tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. It's falling at about a tenth of an inch a minute. After today, here's National Weather Service forecaster Kirby Cook's prediction.
Folks should expect a very typical November weekend in the Pacific Northwest with fairly steady rainfall and relatively warm conditions with higher snow levels. So no snow at the passes.
Speaking of snow, we also asked Cook about possible impacts from the La Niña weather pattern forecast this fall and winter. He expects it to be wetter and colder than normal through December.
That means we tend to do better with snowpack in the mountains. So the snow level's a little lower. We get a little more snow in the mountains, and that's a good thing.
As for today, a flood advisory was in place for the South Sound a few hours ago, and while that has expired, forecasters say to expect areas of standing water. And you may hear the wind tonight. Gusts up to 30 miles an hour are possible. In food news, public health officials are urging people not to buy food from unpermitted vendors. Not only are they unauthorized, they can pose a health risk too. Ruby DeLuna reports.
Public health officials say there have been a rise in food cart vendors operating in King County without a permit. Many have been found without proper food safety handling practices or lack hand-washing facilities. Officials say they unfairly compete against vendors who follow the rules and safely handle food. If you're wondering whether a food cart vendor has a permit, look for the county's food safety placards with the face emojis. Ruby DeLuna, KUOW News.
SNAP benefits are flowing in Washington state again after weeks of uncertainty. The state's Department of Social and Health Services says it's caught up on November payments through the 13th of the month. Funds should be loaded on people's EBT cards. The deal signed this week to end the government shutdown funds SNAP benefits through next September. Initial tests show a Grays Harbor resident has contracted avian flu, according to Washington health officials. Additional testing's being done to verify this diagnosis. If confirmed, this would be the first human case of bird flu identified in Washington this year. Dr. Tao Sheng-Kwang-Get is the state health officer. He says people should avoid coming into contact with sick or dead birds.
We are conducting an investigation to determine the potential sources of the infection. For avian influenza, common risk factors include contact with ill wild or domestic birds or other animals. Fortunately, the risk to the public is low.
The Grays Harbor resident who's sick is being treated at a King County hospital. The first ever human cases of avian flu in Washington were reported last year. Some travel reminders as we head into the weekend. A reminder first that Highway 20 over the North Cascades is closing as of 5 o'clock today ahead of a wet and snowy weekend. The closures between the Ross Lake Dam and the Silver Star Gate. State transportation officials are going to assess road conditions again on Monday to figure out whether to reopen the road or keep it closed for the winter. And by the way, all northbound lanes of Highway 167 in South King County are going to close next week as crews start repairing the bridge over 3rd Avenue Southwest in Pacific. That was damaged when it was struck in September by an overheight vehicle. And for transit, a big disruption's coming to light rail this weekend. On Sunday, 5 downtown Seattle light rail stations will be closed so crews can work on fixing a cracked rail. The shutdown affects the Westlake, Symphony, Pioneer Square, International District Chinatown, and Stadium stations. Shuttle buses will run every 10 to 15 minutes between the Capitol Hill and Soto stations, and service should be back to normal Monday morning. Speaking of Monday morning, next week on Seattle Now, we'll break down the recent election and the changes that might be coming to Seattle.
You probably have the votes to pass a citywide capital gains tax now, because that very narrowly failed last year.
Hear that Monday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. Stay dry and have a great weekend.